Video we're going to design the car based on the rectangle that we have already drawn. And I will say now, excuse me, I will be stopping to cough every now and then, so just bear with me as we do that. Um, all right, so the first thing I'm going to start with are some guidelines. And basically, what I'm trying to do here is recreate the sketch that I've decided that I wanted to go with. Okay, so you made 4 sketches. You're going to choose, you've already selected one of those sketches that you're actually going to build, and now you're going to try to recreate that in SketchUp. Okay, so you can start at the front, you can start at the back, you can start at the side. It really doesn't matter. Okay, but you're just trying to use the different tools that you know how to use in SketchUp to create that shape. Okay, now one of the goals is to stay symmetric from the left side of the car to the right side of the car. So, for example, if I came down here a half an inch, then what I would want to do is from the bottom, I want to come up a half an inch. And then I'll use those guidelines, right? So now I'll come in from the end. Now coming in this way, it just kind of depends on how deep I want to create that notch in the back of my car. All right. Um, there's no right or wrong number here. I think I'm going to go 1.5. All right. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to come from here another 1/4 of an inch. Come from here another 1/4 of an inch. Now, again, my point is you're not trying to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm just trying to show you some methods of creating the shape that you're trying to create. All right, so I'm going to get my arc tool. And I'm going to create an arc from here to here with a bulge. And I do have to pay attention to this. I'll do a bulge of a 1/4 inch. And then from there to there, same thing, get that bulge of a 1/4 of an inch. And then, so now those two are exactly equal because I use the same mirrored guide points. And then here, I think I want to go this way with it, right there. Okay, then what I can do is come right back here, and if I erase this line, it creates my axle access that I've already created on the sketch. And then I'm going to go to the glasses icon here, and I will delete all my guides because those guides were specifically created to create those shapes. Then I'm going to create another set of guides for my next shape. Now, I want to show you a guideline that you have to really be careful of. Okay, do not use the edge of the mousetrap as a place to stop with your guide. Don't even use the top of the mousetrap as a place for your guide. Okay, when you're creating your guides, you always have to have your cursor on the car itself, never anywhere on the mousetrap. Okay, the reason is if I click there from this angle, it looks like that guideline is sitting on top of the car, but if I orbit, that guideline is sitting on top of the mousetrap. And if I were to use that guideline, I'll go back directly in the top view again. If I were to use that guideline, so if I were to come here to say here to here to here, you're going to get this strange thing going on here. You're like, what is going on? Okay, and the problem with this is that guideline is sitting on top of the mousetrap. It's not sitting on the surface of the car itself. All right, so I'm going to undo that, get rid of that guide. The key here is if you do want to use the front of the mousetrap as the edge, you can. Okay, but in that case, you're going to have to just change your view and come in and actually use the bottom of the mousetrap as your guide. And that's going to work. And then you could come in here and erase this. Okay. Now that's not my design, so I'm going to get rid of that. but I just wanted to show you to be careful not to use the mousetrap when you're creating your guides. Okay. All right. And then I would continue on creating my shape. Tape measure tool. I think I'll come back to about maybe right here. And again, I'm making all these numbers up. This one I'm doing by looks. I'm not even looking at the number. I know I want this to come back to about there. Then, excuse me again, sorry. So I'll come down a 1/2 inch. And if I come down a 1/2 inch, I got to come up a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to create some arcs from here to here. And I think I'll have these ones arc in. Looks like an 1/8 of an inch bulge. And same thing here to here. And just to make sure it stays the same, I'm going to type 1/8. Now that matches that. I can get my eraser tool, erase both of those lines. So I'm clicking and dragging across both lines so that they go away. Okay. And then here in the middle, for example, I could create a rectangle in here. If I do that though, I do want to start with some guides. So I get my tape measure tool and maybe come in. Really doesn't matter how far I come in, but from here it does matter how far I come down. So I'll come down 1/4 from there, down 1/4 from there, and I want that rectangle to come back to about right there. So now I can get my rectangle tool and go from there to there. Select the center. Remember, when you're deleting surfaces, the eraser will not delete a surface. You have to select the surface with your selection tool and press delete. Okay. And then I'm looking at this. I don't like this sharp corner here. It looks like I have some guidelines in place to maybe take care of that. So I will get my arc tool. I'm going to zoom in here. And I think I'll go from here out to here. Excuse me again. To tangent to the edge. And then get my eraser and come across there. And that makes that corner rounded over. And again, this is all the creativity part. Okay? You are simply trying to recreate the sketch that you made. All right? And doing your best to do so. Erase this. All right. And then to finish things off, I am going to put an arc from here to here. Let's see how much I want to go here. I think that's enough. 5/16. I'll do 3/8 bulge. And then I'll come up here, do the same thing. This end to this end, down to 3/8. I'm reading, by the way, I'm getting the number from the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That's telling me how far down I'm coming. You can see if you look at the lower right-hand corner of my screen, you can see that number changing. So I'm coming to 3/8, which is exactly how much I came up here. Okay, I'm going to get my eraser tool. I will erase this. I will erase that. And come in here and finally delete all of my guides. When I know I have the shape of my car completed, I've got my axle access here, left hand and right hand of the car. Right hand side, left hand side of the car are symmetric. Okay, I've got a little friction reduction here. I have the axle go through there, so I'm going to rotate it. And finally, to finish it off, I'm going to push this down 0.75 inches. And I'm going to save this. All right. Good luck. Have fun. And email me if you have any questions.